Hey there everyone, today I'm coming to you from the famous Knoebels amusement resort. Behind me here is the famous Haunted Mansion, and today, on Friday, June 30th, 2023, they're celebrating the 50th anniversary, 50 years that this ride's been operating. There's going to be some guest speakers, some special things going on today, and I've been personally invited to come see for myself, document it, and to share it with all of you. And of course, we're going to take a ride through it as well. So if you want to see what this day is all about, all you need to do is come along with me.
Yeah. Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming out. 50 years, right? We've assembled a, we've assembled a panel of people that have been influential, a part of this ride, basically before its inception. So we're not going to go through long introductions. I'll give you first names and you'll learn who they are as we go along. We've got Rick Davis from Daffy. We've got Rick Knoebel, John Fetterman, Dave Wynn, Dave Knoebel, and myself, Drew Kanaski. So everybody here asked me questions, and I'm sure they've asked you questions as you've been here through your time. You know, one of the things I get asked an awful lot, what basically was the reason for a haunted house, a haunted mansion? Was it always planned on, or you know, what was sort of the history on this? Maybe you know.
Back in 1972, we were hit by Hurricane Agnes, and it was devastating for us. But one of the things after we cleaned up and got going again was we wanted to come back even more spectacular, and wanted to show off something special.
I think you've done well. I think the ride has been successful. So, I mean, but this wasn't something you just went through a book and said, hey, let's build a building. You know, you were all here for the design, and I think you had a big part of the design. How was this brought about?
I think the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland was very much on our minds. But we wanted to do something, we wanted to have more than edge. Disney, love Disney, but there's always a sweetness to them. And we wanted something that wasn't so sweet.
Yeah.
Something scary.
I think well achieved goal. So, I mean, very early on, well, John, you were operating this ride pretty early on. Was the park real busy at the time? Was this ride as popular as it is now?
Well, when the ride opened, we didn't have the pay one price plan.
Okay.
So it was all strictly tickets. And I remember the 1974, the day after Memorial Day weekend, and we had large crowds. I think I put 3 people through the Haunted Mansion all day. 3 people.
Wow.
Was that 3 cars? Or 1 person?
Don't remember that.
Well, so on opening day, I mean, much like we do now, every morning there's a flurry of activity, and things are ready to go, or maybe they weren't ready to go. What was opening day like? I mean, you guys were here. You know, Dave Wynn, coincidentally, sort of the caretaker here for many decades.
40 years or so.
and John, you've been here since the beginning. You've helped actually build and design a number of rides in the park. Dave, you've helped design this ride and much of the scenery, storyline.
That's right. In the Mine Museum.
The Mine Museum. So, Dave, what, you know, was this ready to go right away on opening day?
Oh, heavens no. You know, it's always been said that we never miss a deadline, but we postpone quite a few. and that was the case, of course, and this year we had an excuse for it because it was supposed to open on the 30th of May. And let's see. Brian was the one that screwed that up. Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't know the story, it was supposed to open on May 30th, 1973, but my brother Brian was born on that day, and there was a big sign out in front over here that said, "It's a boy." And but it wasn't. We weren't quite ready yet, anyway. And it did happen to open on June 30th, 1973, 50 years ago today, which is also my birthday.
Was Now, I remember riding it. I was pretty small, but you're traveling around in the dark, coursing around in there. I mean, was everything neat and tidy and put away and cleaned up?
Well, it was put away to the point that things were hidden behind other things, so that you didn't really see the piles of stuff that wasn't supposed to be there, but we didn't have time to take out in time.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was supposed to open what, 1 o'clock or so, and then 3 o'clock, and 5 o'clock, and 7 o'clock, and finally it got open about 7:30 or 8 o'clock. But Dave Knoebel and I were two of the original operators. We operated that night 50 years ago.
Wow, there you go. Original operators,
Yes.
the very first night.
Yes.
So, Rick Davis, head of Daffy, the wonderful organization. If you haven't checked them out, go to online, go to Daffy, D-A-F-E, Daffy.com. And, I'm sorry, Daffy.org. Yes, thank you. You and your organization know all about dark rides and thrilling things and what makes people happy and have a good time. You've always held our ride in high regard. And what's the reasoning behind that?
Well, one, it's kept the tradition of the traditional dark ride alive. It's not one of the modern ones that focuses on modern electronics and projectors.
Yeah.
It's old school mechanical props that move. It's sound effects. And this has consistently been named our favorite traditional ride, as well as our favorite ride of all types. And I think a lot of it is the concept, the look of the mansion, the props inside, the fact that everything works. That's a biggie. Not every part takes the same care as Knoebels does to ensure the lights work, the sound works. The timing's perfect. If you've gone through, you know the clock. That is probably the best time prop I've ever seen.
Yeah, it works well. It gets a lot of people. I hear a lot of screams. So, I know during my involvement here, the scenery has changed a little bit here, but you all have experienced that maybe the ride is a little different than it was originally designed to be. I was told that what is currently our upside down room, that's evolved several times. That used to be our skull room, right? And then before,
The optic room.
oh, it was the optic room.
For that.
Right now, it's just a straight journey right through there. Was that different?
Yes.
Originally?
Yes. Before it was a serpentine pattern through the ride, which was fine the first time you rode it.
Okay.
The second time you rode it, I've seen this before, and you know what? I think we can get out of here. And they would jump out of the car, go over, bash the walls, rip the posters down, and still have time. Oh, the car's almost ready to leave to run in front because there was a strobe light in there, so you could see, despite the fact that it was strobing on you, and get back in the car. Another trick to do was to get out of the first car if you had two people in, and then get in the second car so that the operators, you know, because there's an empty car just came through. And that was the case. That was the way it was done.
Yeah.
So we took the optic room and turned it into a straight pattern through the thing, so you didn't have all that time to do that. You know, also, there's another reason for that. When you rode through the thing, in the wintertime, we saw we had all this room in here. Now we have room, we could do other things in here. We could actually work on the cars in here because there was heat in there we put in. Now we could put heat in here. We only have to cover this section of track so you don't get all hogged up. So now we've got that section going. Then John and I thought, why don't we paint the horses down here? Because there was no place to paint horses in the park. So every fall, John and I would go into the merry-go-round, pick out the horses that we wanted to have for that year, and repaint. We'd bring them down here, put them on stands in the optic room, and there they were all set up to paint. And two of the girls Now I'm getting off track here, but that's all right.
This is good stuff.
I've never said this to anybody, but the two girls that painted in there were Sis Kurtz and Maureen Jakuski. They came over from Bloomsburg, well, not the university, Bloomsburg College at the time, and they would paint the horses on Saturday, on the week between Christmas and New Year's, on a spring break day, anytime there was time, they would come over and paint the horses. And we have a picture of them in the front here with all the painted horses ready to go by on that were in there. Last variation on that I must spill out is, what was that, about 1980? Mr. Fetterman here married Sis Kurtz. she's standing out there next to Maureen Jakuski, who in 1982 became Maureen Wynn. So I married her, and between the two of them, we've got 42, 43 years. We're working on our 41st year marriage. So,
Talk about meeting cute.
yeah. But anyway, that's the story of the...
I'd like to say something about the original track layout.
Absolutely.
And this was something that I gave a lot of thought to, and the priority was to get the most track in a given amount of space. Now you have to balance that with room for stunts too.
Sure.
And after some research, I decided that I could divide the floor plan of the, what is it, 60 by 60, something like that?
About 80 by...
It's essentially a square.
It's 70 by 80, I think, and then another 10 feet for the porch.
Well,
It was essentially 70 by 90 if you counted the porch, and we always did to make it bigger.
so anyway, I divided that area into quadrants, and I ran the track from the entry door here in the center of the building to the center of the whole building. And if you imagine it divided into quadrants, that point in the center is the four corners, like the states out west. And from there, I ran the track. It wended through the first quadrant, returned to the center, and then went back and repeated itself through each of the remaining quadrants. And that way, we got a lot of track in the building. And you know, that translates, I think the technical term is we got the most bang for our buck.
Yes.
And so did the riders.
Yes.
I think we had about 532 feet to 534 feet, something like that, of track. And then in addition, we bought Rolling Green's track
Rolling Green
and cars. That fall, after we built this, you know, originally, this ride came from Rolling Green, you know. They didn't build this themselves. They came from Rolling Green. And Rolling Green was not a very good dark ride. And toward the end, it was an extremely poor dark ride. I mean, we went down to see...
It wasn't even dark.
Yeah, we went down to see what tricks we could get out of it, and I think I brought 2 boxes that used to hold tricks, and I said, that's all I can find if it's any good. But we did get the 8 cars, and that's one of them right out there, all restored.
An original Rolling Green car.
That's an original Rolling Green car, and 5 of them are in addition to the ones that we have. So we now have 15 cars on the track, and 2 of them we just scrapped after we took all the goodies off of them that we could.
Well, I know there are other original parts about this ride, and John, you had a hand in this. There are sound effects in this ride. I mean, a lot of them were made here, right? We didn't just, you know, go to sound effects on the computer and put them in there.
Well, the original sound effects I wasn't a part of. Maybe you can explain it better, but I think that there may have been some stock things like the opening the door for the greeter. Well, I think that was a stock effect, but we had a local DJ, Tom Kutza, had the welcome. So that's stamped it as part of our local interest. David, when you have a degree in organ studies, and so you knew a lot about organ pieces that would be threatening and interesting, and you picked out that soundtrack. Perhaps the one that you've got in mind, Drew, is in the optic area, which is just me being silly one day in front of a tape recorder. You know, how you can kind of pop your hands and make sounds, and actually that's me doing in there all of the mountain canyon. Then playing it backwards on a tape and putting echo and reverb on it. So it's hardly recognizable as the original thing, but it's eerie. And it worked.
Lots of things were done in-house. I know there are a few noise sound effects, noises and such that are in there now that I contributed to. So I think we've all left our mark in there in some way or another. You know, I know we've got we've got lots of people here. I'm sure these folks are going to reach out to you and ask questions. There's so many interesting parts of the ride. So I guess my question is, did you ever expect this ride to be this popular? I mean, the hope was there that it would be enjoyed, but did you feel that it was going to be this popular, that it was going to leave such a strong mark with everybody?
Well, I certainly didn't. But I don't think, were any of us thinking that far ahead? Were we thinking about?
No, we were just thinking make it through the next day.
Yeah.
I know it's become a big part of everybody. I hear so many times, you know, when they come to the park, they have to ride this ride. It's just been a huge impact on everybody's enjoyment here at the park, and that's, you know, definitely on your shoulders. This is the team that brought this ride this far and beyond, and made it what it is that you all enjoy today. So. I hope to be part of that continuation. I'm very proud and very honored to follow in the footsteps of all these wonderful guests that we have here today. Rick, you know, you said before that this ride is popular. You think you have a reason why the core entertainment value is here?
Well, I think it's because it's part of a dying breed, for one, and it's held pretty true to the way the ride was built originally. I can only think of one other ride that was built in the 50s that has pretty much stayed the same, and that's up in New York. But like I said, it's done so well. You make changes subtly, and I think for a lot of us is the first ride of the year is we want to know, what did he do this year? And this year he made some changes.
Yeah, we did. And Rick, I think you phrased it best. What's really neat about a dark ride? What makes it unique?
Well, the best thing about a dark ride is that you can change it. You can't really change a Ferris wheel or a Merry Mixer or other flat rides, but the haunted house, you can change it, you know, each and every year. And one of the things is that it's full of surprises, and you can make a different surprise for those who, you know, continue to ride it. So
the other thing is, it's one of the few rides in the park that works when it's hot, when it's cold, when it's raining, when there's lightning. And it's one of the few places in any amusement park you can actually find some creativity, some artistry. And we know you have some great artists here in the park.
Well, we hope to, we hope to continue to surprise everyone. I know that there were, if you've ridden this yesterday, you're going to find a few surprises today that were not there yesterday. We wanted to add a little extra magic for you, so if you came out today, you would see something. And that's, I think, part of the fun. There's so much to see in this ride anymore, due in part to everything everyone's contributed over the years. you really have to ride it several times to start to see and know everything that's in there. And we want to continue that. We want to continue bringing you the fun and letting your imagination relax and enjoy your day here in our Haunted Mansion. They've asked me to share a couple of fun things about today. We have, and I know some of you are eager for this, we have some collectible tickets. Yep, through the year, to honor the Haunted Mansion, roughly every month we've published a new ticket, and people have been grabbing these tickets and holding on to them. Today we are offering all 5 tickets on one purchase for $20, and in that purchase is a discounted ticket to ride the ride. So you can keep those 5 and add them to your collection. They'll be available very shortly here at either this ticket booth, or we have another location just behind you. There's some balloons flying at a booth that you can get them there. We have, some of you have been collecting our special gift shops, items, souvenirs and things like that. They're going to have those shops open a little early today for you, so you can kind of beat the crowd. Some of the souvenir cups and mugs and things like that. I know there's a building block set you've been asking about. We've been asking about that too. So you can see one of our attendants in the gift shops and sign up for those, and we'll work with you. We'll get you those things. They're going to be open a little early over at the shirt shop right at the bottom of the flume, and also I believe the Chalet gift shop is also going to have that stuff. There's some collectible cups and mugs that are out today. So as you make your way through the park enjoying all of our great food, you know, stop by and grab that souvenir cup. You can grab those that are out today, or at any place that sells a slushie. If it sells a slushie, you can buy a cup. There are many foodstuffs. Man, there's some great stuff out there. We hope you make your way through the park, enjoy the day here, have some fun, have some food, take home some memorabilia, and a lot of the construction, evolution, acquisition of parts of this ride have fallen on the shoulders of Dick Knoebel. We happen to have with us here today, Dick Knoebel.
I think the first and foremost thing I was involved with was many years before we constructed the Haunted Mansion. Lancaster Switch in Shamokin Arena Gardens. Roller skating rink was closed. My goodness, they had 70-foot bowstring trusses there that they were going to burn up. I said, no, you're not. I bought those bowstring trusses, 70-foot clear span, for $500. And we used them here. That's why we started building this thing, 4-footers, started laying blocks. Didn't know if we were building a haunted house or a new roller skating rink. But we knew it was going to be 70 feet wide. In fact, if anybody's interested, I still got one truss left. But the thoughts behind that was the fact that the roller skating rink, we didn't have a lot more parking over here for the roller skating rink here. Well, it's good we didn't do that. The other thought was that if this is going to be roller skating rink, the other roller skating rink is going to become a flat ride, flat dark ride. And we wouldn't be able to do the things. And that one that we were able to accomplish in this one. The 2-story attic and all that. So, it was between Christmas and New Year's, we started laying blocks and built huge U-shaped wooden frames and covered everything with plastic so we could put heat in there. So we'd have blocks in the heat, and we'd start in the morning in the heat. And if we warmed up enough in the afternoon, we'd go over and work on the other wall. So that was part of the construction. And I made the arrangements with that little dark ride down in New Jersey to buy the cars, and I said, look, they've got to go up this incline. So when they came here, they couldn't make it up the incline. That was one of the delays besides Brian, the ravel. But further than this, within 30 days we changed the motors, and it is successful that way. But this has always been a great project because with the help of all these individuals sitting here, and I guess I had something to do with it too, but I think we've been successful in bringing the greatest dark ride in the country for you folks to enjoy. Thank you. I didn't get quite here in time. I thought this thing was supposed to start at 11 and I was here at 10. But did anybody tell the story of the Ishmael Heppel?
No? No?
There's a storyline. I think David, you bump with this. David, you know, one of them. Ishmael Heppel was an archaeologist who was building this beautiful home for his new bride. But he got involved in this, being in this one tomb, and a curse was put on him. So that when he moved in with his new bride, she went screaming from the place, never to be seen again. One day she's still there, but he left. Have you ever seen Ishmael Heppel's wife in there? The one that turns around and looks at you. So that was part of the storyline. And of course it was the same time that the Exorcist movie was out. So we had fun with that too. Well, maybe I've said enough. But anyway, thank you for being here today. And Drew's going to have a lot of surprises in there for you.
Yes.
Now,
But we have a surprise for you. Rick Davis has brought along something he'd like to present to you, Dick.
oh,
You know, Dick, we've been waiting for this moment for years and years that we've been coming here. So we just have a simple plaque for you. The Dark Attraction and Funhouse enthusiasts recognize Knoebel's Haunted Mansion for providing 50 years of fun in the dark. Knoebel's dedication ensures that it will be available for generations to come.
thank you. And now here, I got something in this panel. Brian, hold the mic. Right. In recognition of the event that this panel has presented, I'm presenting a certificate of appreciation to Drew Kanaski, David Knoebel, Dave Williams. And don't forget, this and $2 a day is our top. John Fetterman. Birthday boy Rick. And Rick Davis.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. There you got them all. Hey, Rick. Put your mic inside.
And we have one more gift for you. You probably noticed this nifty little hearse that's been custom built on site by our park artisans here. Today, you can get your on-ride photo, which we've been doing all year, but today only there is a special border built around that photo. You can only get it today. And they've lowered the price. They've got, you get a 6x8 print, you get two 4x6 prints, you can get a keychain, a magnet. Only $5 today, our gift to you. If you want to take home a souvenir of the fun you've had on our ride, please see one of our Photoshop attendants after you come out, look at the hearse, grab your number with your photo, and go stop off at one of our photo shops, and then you can take home a wonderful memento. Our take home is all of you people coming out today. Thank you so much for your enthusiasm and sharing your love of the ride as much as we have. Have fun. And by the way, there's free birthday cake over here. Don't forget to get your collectible tickets either over here or over here. And as soon as we clear the area, you can ride the ride.
And even the famous carpetbagger himself made it out here for Knoebel's 50th anniversary of the Haunted Mansion. So that was a great treat for all of us, especially those of you who are fans of the Haunted Mansion. All the guest speakers shared some personal details and information regarding the ride, about how it came to what it is today, and some special things that most of the general public doesn't know. And we also got a treat from Dick Knoebel himself coming in there and sharing his thoughts about the ride and the celebration. As you can see, there is a lot of people here behind us wanting to get their tickets to ride the ride and probably enjoy some cake, which I'm going to try to do as well. So once the lines do die down, I will be heading on in the inside to ride the ride, and that will conclude the video. But I just wanted to say, if you couldn't be here today, hopefully this video helped make you feel like you were here. And lastly, thanks so much for watching. Now enjoy a ride through the famous Haunted Mansion. Car number 1. Enjoy your ride. Car number 1, this is our first ride through with brand new changes made specifically for today. 50th birthday of the Haunted Mansion. Enjoy.
Mm-hmm.